Hey guys, welcome back to ACCA TV. I have Maya Ito here and Jamie Nelson, and we are going to talk about some of her art. So I know that you came from Texas and then later moved to Colorado Springs.
Mm-hmm.
So how is that going from such a small city and then coming to LA? What was that experience like?
Good question. Yeah, so it was interesting, like coming from a small town. I was born in Texas, then moved to Colorado until I was 18. So all my schooling was there, and it was hard because I had to go to California, which I'd never been before, go to college there, and then I moved straight to New York for 12 years. So that's like where I really pushed, like at a very young age, like pushed my career and got my feet wet in the commercial world. So I think that like some of the things I take from my childhood though was being raised like pretty poor, was being really resourceful and really having a love for vintage. I had to shop at thrift stores because that's all the money that we had. But then that became like really a huge part of who I am today. And then from there, like the vintage world kind of got me to like start riding motorcycles and getting involved in old classic cars and vans. And so basically like to this day, I'm just still trying to time warp. I'm not like super happy about the times that we're living in right now. I just, I resonate more with analog stuff and things made with good quality and things with craftsmanship and art. So I'm just jealous of everybody that was around the 60s and the 70s and 80s. So yeah, that's something that I'm just really attached to, and that's what my raising, kind of my upbringing did for me when I brought that to New York and brought that into the fashion world.
That's awesome. So whenever times did get tough, how did your resilience kick in and what made you just keep going and keep going?
You know, I think that coming from a place where I was always literally hungry, it made me hungry to make money and to thrive. So I think that a lot of people that just have that growing up don't have the same drive. So I was raised to work really, really hard. And so no matter what I have, I'll always figure out a way to make it happen. So on any kind of budget, which, you know, even at the highest levels, even shooting for Vogue magazines, there's always a limited budget, especially when you're doing editorial projects, you're doing art projects. So learning how to really make my money go far and make things of a high production value was kind of the best thing I took from being raised that way.
That's awesome.
Yeah, good question, Maya. Yeah. And Jamie, you shoot a lot of women, and also from your collections. And I learned you have fascinated with the 70s lifestyle, and also I love your collection, Chanel collection and Yves Saint Laurent collection. That both shows women's independence and power. So what do you think? I think it was a little bit intuition. So how do you think a woman, today's woman, the independent and the power in your lens?
Yeah, so I think that like the times that we're in, everything it's about cancel culture, it's about being, ultra PC about everything. And I love the parts of, in the 70s when Playboy magazine came about, women were empowered by that. Obviously some weren't, so there's some different sides of the story for everyone for that. But there were, women were really using that as a strength. And really using their sexuality as a powerful form. But I personally am more of a risk taker. I'm a very strong woman, but as a strong woman, I feel like the strongest thing you can do is to use our natural innate womanly features to our advantage, instead of suppressing those and trying to be so PC about everything.
So I know you've worked on many different projects. What has been one of your favorite that you've taken away and just walked away saying, wow, I made such a great impact?
Wow, there's so many. They're all so different. I think one of my favorites was a shoot with Gwen Stefani, and this was her first album. About 10 years that she hadn't produced any music because she had a really hard divorce. And had some like obvious sadness about that. And so it was really nice to be able to like speak so intimately with a celebrity and have her be really vulnerable with me and tell me how important this was to her, what she wanted to accomplish. And it's a bit of a take on Marilyn Monroe. So it was beautiful white scenery with bedspreads and, her being very vulnerable and very close up, which is kind of my favorite thing to take photos of, is really getting intimate and in women's faces, which I can do very well. It's not the same with a man. There's always going to be an innate sexuality or uncomfortability there. So that's something that I really am great at doing. So I was able to make her feel really comfortable, and I think we got some of the most iconic photos that she's ever had, and that was her whole album, and it was a lot that we did that day. I think it was like 14 or 16 hours, and it was just really special the way it came out. It was a lot of pressure for me, but I really work well under those situations. But I think since I was 17, I've said, and I started photography then, I said that I always wanted to, with every single project, have it be commercial, have it be something my grandma would like still somehow, but have the fine art involved in it, as well as being editorial, which is like current and edgy and have that that edge to it. So that's what I've always wanted to accomplish, and I still feel like I'm doing that to this day. So it's like a lot of people are only in the editorial, like trendy kind of the time mentality, and then there's the art world, which kind of misses mixing in the fashion and what's going on currently. So that's something I've always tried to mix with every single project I've ever done. So
it's really cool. Thank you.
Yes, thank you so much. And even we talk here, and we're not professional show person. I'm very novice sitting here, and I like to ask Jamie. And so many people you shoot, and some audience I notice, including me, in front of camera. Sometimes we get nervous. How you say the novice, and how you make them feel not to be more nervous.
That's interesting. Yeah, I do hear from a lot of people that there's photographers that are dead silent, or they pose them and make them do something very uncomfortable instead. So for me, my technique has always been to talk the whole time. I'm constantly giving feedback and making people feel good about themselves, really empowering women. That's amazing. Like, maybe there's an angle I can get of a woman that they've never seen of their face or their body before. So I'm really good at discovering that. So we just kind of work together until they're comfortable and they open up and they feel good about themselves. And I've done this even with girlfriends during COVID. I've turned girls that have never modeled before into my pieces of art, my muses, and now they're professional butt models right now. With one of my girlfriends.
That's awesome.
I was doing that with her, but she got confidence, and then she kept doing it more and more, and now I have a whole bunch of art prints from that growth with her. So that was really amazing. But yeah, I think it's something really, really special that I have a lot of my models say that I took the best photos that they've ever seen of themselves. So it's something, I just have a gift for that, I think, of really finding something different within each person and seeing their beauty and really bringing out of them and bringing out confidence. And we try a lot of things. Yes. I don't want people to be scared. I just want to try everything. And I'm goofy, and I'll sit there posing. I'll be like, look, try this, try this. I will get on the ground. I'll do anything because this, I'm not one of those photographers that doesn't want to collaborate with everyone. I want everybody on the team to feel valued and everybody to collaborate together. And I don't have an ego about that because I really feel blessed to be in an industry where I feel like I'm in a service industry, and I think everyone should feel like that. It's my job to make people feel beautiful above anything else I want to accomplish. That is my job. So if I don't do that, I'm not accomplishing my job. It's not about me. It's about the subject and bringing the best out of them.
Yeah, that's very good to an audience to understand, and especially those days, everybody have their own selfie. But one thing they cannot do is photography shooting is your personality. It's not how cute you are, and also inner confidence. Thank you so much.
Yeah.